Hi friends, today we're taking a look at not one, but two Artist Couture eyeshadow palettes, Supreme Nudes and Supreme Bronze. But first, if it's your first time here, hi, I use natural light and I'll be constantly changing throughout this video, I'm so sorry. My name is Alicia if it's your first time here, and if you're returning, well thank you for visiting me again. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I'm a fitness professional who loves things, all movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram. I do not have a dedicated video overviewing Supreme Bronze, but I did go into it during my Sonia G live. If you want to see that eyeshadow palette in action, I'll put the timestamp down below, but there'll also be a timestamp on that video. I was wondering because I have Supreme Nudes, which I absolutely love. I was thoroughly impressed when I used this for the first time last year, and I have kept on doing so. And I thought to give Supreme Bronze a try because, again, really happy with Supreme Nudes. But if you're wondering, listen, if you already have Supreme Nudes and you're looking at Supreme Bronze, you're like, uh-oh, do you necessarily need both? Now here they are side by side. I'm looking at the crack, want to see them in frame. There are similarities to be found. You have the warm tone mattes and the beige matte, but I think the difference occurs when you get into Sun Kissed here in Supreme Bronze, and also the metallics in Supreme Nudes. You have this beautiful olive shade, but then you have this bold gold copper, as well as this yellow gold here, and the reddish tone sun-kissed matte found in Supreme Bronze, and the black shadow. Whereas the darkest shadow you have in Supreme Nudes is mink, this dark brown. Now that might not be an issue for you. Maybe you don't like black shadow and you found that having a dark brown shadow is just easier for you to use and blend. I thought maybe today we'll get into both palettes. We'll do one eye and then the other, using what I feel are the distinct colors from the palettes, and then decide from there if you need one or both or not. With that said, why don't you come a little closer? That's enough. Let's go into some quick shadow comparisons, shall we? I think first we'll go into Artist Couture. I'll start with Exposed as well as Silhouette, and we'll go in with Transcend. We have Exposed, Silhouette, and Transcend. My watch was there, so I need to do that again, which is a little sweaty betty. So those are the three we'll start with. And from Supreme Bronze, we have Mirage, Topeless, and Toasty. Those I feel are the standout similar shadows from Supreme Bronze. So here we go. Mirage, Topeless, and Toasty. Interesting that Transcend has a little more red, is more of a terracotta brown matte. Silhouette has a lot more warmth than Topeless. Topeless is definitely more cooler in tone, and Mirage has a little more cream to it. But whereas Exposed, a little more beige. Is that a fair observation? So here are the standout comparisons from the mattes. We're gonna go back in Supreme Nudes. Aesthetic versus baked, maybe? Aesthetic is this one here, more reddish brown in tone, and then going into baked, which is the dark brown found in Supreme Bronze. So there is aesthetic, there is baked. Aesthetic has like a little bit of a plum brown thing going on, and baked is a dark neutral brown. So those are the main differences. I believe, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Supreme Bronze has 6 metallic shades, whereas Supreme Nudes has 4. So right off the bat, if you rather have more mattes in your palette, then stick with Supreme Nudes. If you wanted more metallic shades, then you get 2 more from Supreme Bronze. There's no equivalent to Sun Kissed from Supreme Bronze, nor there is one for, what is this, Gilded and Soleil. These two here. Glisten and HBIC. Glisten is the coolest shade in there. It's like a charcoal, like a gunmetal metallic. Really beautiful. Whereas, actually, we could go in with Lavish and Soleil, but there is no gunmetal shade found in Supreme Nude. Opulence maybe is that olive shade, but let's take a look after we swatch these. So here is Lavish from Supreme Nudes and Soleil from Supreme Bronze. Lavish, you see, is a more golden champagne, Soleil a truer yellow gold. And back into Supreme Bronze, we have Sand, which I think is a cooler champagne shade in comparison to Lavish. I'll swatch to next to them, yes. So that has a little more beige to it versus Lavish, which is a little warmer in undertone. I'll swatch Opulence, which is this beautiful olive metallic, which was for me what made the palette, and we'll put it up against Glisten, which is the gunmetal metallic shade from Supreme Bronze. Here we go. We got Opulence from Supreme Nude, and we have Glisten from Supreme Bronze. Now, I'm not entirely sure, and I'll say that I didn't go into full detail if Angel did a different formula for Supreme Bronze, but Glisten is more of like a topper for me. It's beautiful if you apply it with the finger and it has that twinkle effect, but the metallics I feel in Supreme Nudes have a little more body to them. You have a little more to the texture there, which I think lends itself to be a truer metallic versus the one from Supreme Bronze is a hybrid, I feel. But again, I didn't look into if that was an intentional change or that's just how the color is in Supreme Bronze. And of course, we'll do HBIC. HBIC is the same with Glisten, a lot drier than Sand, as well as Tantalize and Gilded. Those are, I feel like, a smoother metallic formula. And from Supreme Nudes, why not? We could do Opulence, that's Supreme, and that's Opulence. I know the Opulence was somewhere. And someone needs to put lotion on her elbows. Here we go. Opulence and HBIC. HBIC is like a bronzier, more antique color. And Opulence, I feel, is what was everyone's favorite from Supreme Nudes. I mean, that had really beautiful shine, and I think a unique shade is like a rose gold, like a rich copper rose gold shade that just had such beautiful shine when you applied it on the lid. I mean, superb. And I think when I dropped into the Supreme Nudes metallics, I noticed that the formula for the metallics might be a touch better from Supreme Nudes, but again, I'm not sure if that's just the color or the change was intentional made in Supreme Bronze, if there was a change. So let's get into it. I'll start with Supreme Nudes. I already have my eyes prepped, and I want to center the look around Supreme because I think that is the distinguishing factor for me in terms of the differences between the palettes. Going in with Eccentric, which is a mustard tone matte shade, and I'm using my Wayne Goss number 5. We all love our mustardy tone mattes, although I feel this leans a little more towards the warmer side of mustard. And I'll go straight in with Mink just to get some nice smoke here on the outer corner. Tapping it on first and using the edge of the brush to whip that through the crease, combining it with the first matte so it could look nice and diffused. Going in with Nudist, which is a slightly lighter matte, brushing against the edges of Eccentric, the first matte we laid down, so it could warm up the edges a little bit and bring that shadow higher, a touch closer to the brow. And now with Supreme, taking my finger, as I feel it being the best method, or the one I prefer when applying metallics. I always say metallics. Metallics. Ooh, that is so gorgeous. I'm a sucker for olives. I can't help it. Which is probably why I'm leaning towards Supreme Nude over Supreme Bronze. I did a really beautiful look last weekend with Supreme Bronze, just exclusively using the warmer mattes, Tantalize, that, I don't know how to classify that color. It was like the reddish brown metallic. Ooh, so pretty. But this, I wanted to use Opulence as well. I think we can get away with it. Let's see. I'll use a smaller shader brush here. I'll pick up Opulence. So it can be our dominant inner corner moment, but bringing it higher in than usual, as I wanted to overlap Supreme so it can have like that burst of sparkle effect. Because why not? I can still go in with Lavish, apply that still on the inner part of the eye, and just bring it around. So you do whatever you like. A little more Opulence. I think I want this to be my primary lower lash line shade, as I like to do with my metallics. That was a Kyoreido brush, by the way, I believe. I think. Transcend with my Wayne Goss number 6. Lower lash line. Starting to build this here. Taking Mink, the dark brown matte, from the outer corner down. Not across, but maybe a quarter in. So it doesn't quite overwhelm the lash line with that color, but you're most certainly welcome to do so. If you wanted a little more impact and intensity with the look, you can certainly take on that step. I'm just feathering the edges here. There we go. Well, that's beautiful. The gradient, I feel, is just lovely. I think because of the tones of some of these mattes, these like mustardy leaning tones, I think are great to have in here. But now we'll go into Supreme Bronze, because I think I want to recreate what I did over the weekend just to show you. So let me wipe my Wayne Goss number 5. And I think the first shade I went in with was Toasty. And from the bat, Toasty is far, it's like a true warm brown as opposed to Eccentric, which has like that. Did I do this? You know what? I made a mistake, but it's fine. It's fine. I went in with Sunkissed first. I just realized I could overlap Toasty with Sunkissed. It's fine. I'll take it towards the inner part of the eye, so it has like that fiery flare, if you will, and a little more Toasty to wing that shadow out. Okay, that is a beautiful. I kind of like my mistake, because I like Sunkissed overlapping Toasty like that from the inner corner, like to add a little more shade of shade though, I'll go back in with my Refer number 1 brush, tap into Baked, which is a harder press than some of the mattes in here. And anytime I encounter a harder press matte, I find it's best to tap on and then gently feather the edges once you've applied the majority of the shadow on the outer portion of your lid. I think you'll have better control in that way, because once you start going in with the swirl and twirl with the shade that's fairly hard pressed in the pan, I think that's when you'll run into unevenness with your blending. And then I'm going to take my Sonji Jumbo Concealer. I was going to say Jumbo Blender again. It's just ingrained in me. Tapping to clean off the edges. Was that there the entire time? For crying out loud. I'm going to take Sunkissed actually and whip on a little bit here on the outer part of that blend. Yes, we love. Okay, Tantalize, this reddish copper shade on the majority of the lid. I can actually use a shader brush with this because it doesn't have the same consistency as Supreme. So I'll use a brush as it picks it up fairly well. And then I'll cut it under and through the crease. Gilded, same brush, that hardy copper gold shade. These together really bring the eye to life in terms of you creating something with Supreme Bronze. So like that orange to red, and then of course with Soleil, the truer yellow gold, that just makes it, oh my goodness, come forward like vavoom. Pulling it under the lower lash line a bit. I think I want, you know what, I'm going to do Gilded. I'm going to do Gilded under the lash line. I think it'll be so pretty here. I'm just taking my time pulling it through the lower lash line. So that could be like the star of the show there. But I'll return to using Mwanga's, where to go? My number 6 again with Sun Kiss. I want to really make this hazy, but create a dominant warm lash line here. Therefore, relying on these two shades to make that effect happen. If you want it to be warmer, then you'll go in with Toasty instead. And you can probably still combine these two in order to adjust the shade a little bit. And then with Baked, I'm whipping that on the outer part of the eye, so it could be a little more cohesive. But as you see, it went a little out of hand. So whatever concealer brush you have on standby, you can use it just to act as an eraser, if you will. So you can clean up the edges there and, you know, voila. And I think I want to do HBIC, you know what, not with the brush, with my finger. Because I feel you can, since it's very lightweight in formulation, you can layer this over the other metallics in here to have more of a sparkly dazzle effect, which exists more in HBIC and Glisten than it does in Soleil, Gilded, or Tantalize. Now, I don't have any other face makeup on because I am on my way to filming my June fave, so I'm saving the cheeks for some demos, so I hope you don't mind, fam. Video coming soon. But what I will do is slap on these lashes, and we'll be right back. Here's a close-up of both looks. We have the Supreme Nude Eye with Supreme and Opulence on the lid. And here we have from Supreme Bronze, we have Tantalize, Gilded, and Soleil with a little bit of HBIC sprinkled on top. And here's a wide shot of both looks. It's hard, fam, because I love both color stories. I understand what each of them have to offer. I think Supreme Bronze is your summer, fun-loving, warm tone palette that we've all seen before. But I mentioned this in my live. Anytime you have a newer brand, they're going to release their version of a warm palette, their version of a cool palette. And because of that, we might run into repeats. Angel has not yet done a warm tone palette curation, so here we are with Supreme Bronze. I think Supreme Nudes was a good introduction, like middle of the way color story that I feel still majority maybe more neutral than cool, because your only cool matte shade here is Silhouette. But once you put in Mink, I think it kind of toggles the entire eye shape to still look more neutral tone rather than cool, especially if you apply Bronzana, Lavish, or even Opulent. Oh, excuse me, Bronziana, or even Opulence. But once you put on Supreme, I think that adjusts the look to be very smoky glam and perhaps not as summery like what you find in Supreme Bronze. I would say though, if you really love smoky looks, then you got the black shadow in Supreme Bronze. That probably is the advantage of getting Supreme Bronze over Supreme Nudes if you have neither. I do think the Supreme Nude metallics are slightly better. I don't know what it is. Maybe they just have a little more body to them. I feel they're shinier. But maybe there's a new formula that exists in Supreme Bronze that's more sparkly arcly. Like HBIC, they feel drier than Lavish and Bronziana. But still, Glisten and HBIC have really nice shine. They're not the same consistency. And I think it's a different formula. Because I don't know if you can detect, there's some sparkles here that look beautiful once it settles onto your lid and it has time to just melt into your skin. The dazzle effect, I think, is gorgeous. So all that to say, I think I'm just stalling because I definitely don't want to say you need both, because we don't need any of this first and foremost. I think you will survive without Supreme Bronze if you have Supreme Nudes already, for sure. I mean, these shadows, I think the mattes are just smooth. They're easy to blend. The color story is solid. It's a unique curation. It's not so warm and not so cool. It sits somewhere in the middle, especially with the inclusion of eccentric and nudist. I think these are really nice tone mattes to have. But then with Supreme Bronze, if you don't like Supreme nude colors at all, but you feel like having Sun Kiss and Tantalize and having the black shadow is just going to amplify your eye looks in a way that Supreme Nudes cannot, then you get Supreme Bronze. I don't think, however, if you get both, you're going to end up with the same look. That's for sure. For instance, if you combine Shady, Glisten, and Taupeless, that is going to look a lot cooler than any shades you combine here in Supreme Nude. You don't have any gunmetal or taupey type of a shade except for Silhouette, but as you saw with the swatch comparison, Silhouette leans a little more warm than Taupeless does. Taupeless, I think, is far cooler in undertone. So if you want a little more variety, then you have like that smoky glam moment in Supreme Bronze versus what you have in Supreme Nudes. But if you love olive and mustard, I think that's the difference. If you are like a leaning olive mustard type of a person, Supreme Nudes. If you love the copper, the red, and you have the black shadow in here, and you have this cooler glam eye moment that you rather have as an option, then get Supreme Bronze. I'm happy to have both. I love the size of the palette. I think they're easy to travel with. Very streamlined in design. They feel heavy, magnetic closures, really nice size, a great size mirror that stands up on its own. The hinge mechanism is tight on there. It doesn't feel loosey-goosey. I think these are two solid palettes from Artisit Couture. I know Angel had released other palettes before, but I think these are really nice staples to have. And if you don't have any other shadow, then you'll be good with those two for sure. If you combine them, you have Shady from Supreme Bronze if you want to smoke up any looks that you create from Supreme Nudes even more. You can combine Sun Kissed with the more mustardy colors in Supreme Nudes. You can have a ball. If you buy both, I don't think you'll run into major repeats that will make you regret buying both. I think they supplement each other well. But at the same time, you have to decide what type of a person you are in terms of what favorite shadow colors you like to wear. And from the comparisons that we did and the eye looks we created, hopefully that helped you decide. Let me know if you picked up Supreme Bronze or you have both Supreme Nudes and Supreme Bronze. I will see you down in the comments. And until then, fam, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I will see you on here again with another review, tutorial, eyeshadow palette showdown extravaganza, monthly favorites, or lunchtime chit chat. Take care, and I will see you again soon.